Hello everyone. I hope you guys are well. Today we are going to discuss a very exciting topic in international trade. We would like to talk about culture. Yeah, cultural understanding. As it is international trade, so there are different types of culture, different countries, as we were also speaking um, in our conversation on globalization. That even within one country, there are and there can be multiple cultures. Uh, but anyways, let me ask you, what is your understanding of culture? Uh, what is culture? If someone asks you, try to explain culture in a couple of lines. How you are going to reflect on that? That okay, yes, this is culture. This is we are not talking about any discussion or anything you read in a book or in any other course where someone was trying to explain. You just be casual about it and based on your own experience, your own understanding. A very simple question, but very
That the custom of particular people and in their yeah, I can say it's the custom on behavior of particular people. So
yeah, very interesting if we can reflect on this customs, traditions. That can be one way to explain what culture is. Anyone else? What is culture? I try to explain it. What is your understanding? What is culture?
I
So I
think
think it's
I think
how you think what is right and what is wrong. So how you think things should be done.
I think it's just the values of a certain group of people. So like, yeah, culture is like within a group of people. There's several different ones, and they share the same beliefs, the same values.
It's a lot of cultural dimensions like masculinity and power distance. I mean, we've gone through that. I think it's Van Hofstadt's cultural dimensions, which tries to analyze the different cultures, but maybe not perfect, but it's at least it's a try.
Very good, Dean. Please reflect on this. What Dean has just mentioned. He's trying to talk about couple of theoretical aspects like power distance. He referenced some theory on that. So that is very interesting. So in different cultures, power distance is going to be different. In different cultures, the way of communicating can be different. And even so look at that. I am maybe coming from a different culture and you are used to a different type of culture. So, this is a good practice for even international trade, that how we look into different things. One friend mentioned the definition of culture, and I really like it, and see how simple, please turn off your mic if you are not speaking. So very simple words our friend used, but look at that. She's saying what is right, what is wrong. What is right, what is wrong. So she's defining in that way the term culture. What is right, what is wrong. But look at that. What can be right for you might not be right for me, and vice versa. What I strongly believe in, that this is how we should do something, maybe you think that is not the best way. So you can think about those type of things. Very interesting point, how things should be done. One friend is mentioning values, shared belief. But I would like to go back to that simple definition, that what is right, what is wrong. How do we decide what is right and what is wrong? Many times the atmosphere, the environment in which we are brought in, many times what our parents or guardians or whoever is parenting us in any sense, they also tell us this is the right way to do the things. This is sometimes other things like like religion can guide many times that this is the right way to do the things. uh, your education level, a person in the same community, but someone who is groomed, maybe, they are going to look into differently. But think about it in the aspect of international trade. Yeah, so you guys have defined what is culture. That is good enough. So follow up would be, next discussion point would be that why do you think that culture can become extremely important to look into when we are going in international trade? Why do you think that uh, uh, understanding of different cultures can become very important when we are crossing the boundaries? What are some of the things? And you can reflect on this our own experience. I don't mind that at all. Like, the for example, Alex mentioned something in the earlier part of our discussion. For example, I asked you to, maybe turn on your cameras so I can see you and we can interact in a better way, that type of thing. But that is, again, I've sent out an email, so don't worry about that. But try to think about these things, yeah, especially in the context of international trade. So in international trade, your business is at stake. If you do something which people don't like, or you offend them, or you do something which they don't consider to be right, what would happen? This is a very interesting question, because then they might not want to buy your product or services again, so you might get rejected from from that part. Please try to recall that lovely point which one of our friends made in yesterday's session. And she mentioned some country, and she said that over there, McDonald's or KFC, they have to be mindful, because Muslims do not eat pork, so they don't serve it or something like that. If you guys remember, she mentioned that. So think about that. So as a consumer, you might be consuming pork, but in an international trade environment, let's say you want to do some negotiation with some international people who maybe are Muslims, or who are someone who don't consume pork, but let's assume that you are fond of it, and you have been having it throughout your life, and you don't find any problem in that. Let me link it with yesterday's discussion, for example. So for example, couple of our friends mentioned consuming alcohol, having a good time, consuming wine, uh, having a light movement, and those type of things. Yes, that is the way you are brought up, and that is for you, that is the culture, and that is fine. But think about this, that if you are in a negotiation table, in an international trade context, what is and you are consuming some type of alcohol or something. There are some religions which prohibit it, and those type of things. Some cultures don't really encourage it. So for you, that is normal. You cannot even see that what is wrong in it, and there is nothing wrong in it. I'm not trying to say that, why someone would do that. No, this is the way they are brought up. This is the way, that is the environment they got. So the fundamental point I want to share with you is that in cultural difference, for example, I say something, and based on your culture you don't appreciate that. That is fine. Nothing is wrong in that, vice versa. But in terms of international trade, you just have to see that, okay, that point is also fine. So you don't really stick with, you make note of this line, and you can, of course, you can disagree, totally disagree, but make note of this point, that in international trade, you are not going to go in with your own set of ethics and moral values, so that you can enforce them in the country where you are going. You have to show some type of flexibility over there. And that is an example, that video turning on camera or not turning on. Of course, I would love it if someone would, but I said, all right, no problem. There is no big deal. There are other things which are more important. For me, discussion is more important than anything else. Getting your point of view, getting you involved is more important. So I'm okay with that. But think about that. And later on, I'm going to show you a couple of examples also. If you are not if we are not on the same page, because in international trade, uh, uh, let's say that you are someone who does not like gays and lesbians, yeah, gays and lesbians, uh same same sex people, whatever they do. Of course, I don't encourage that also. To me, that is totally wrong. My culture says it is wrong. My own thinking says it is totally wrong. My religion says it is wrong. Everything says it is wrong, yeah. So but when you are in an international trade environment, if you go and you say that anyone who is gay and lesbian, because I don't like them, they should not be buying my products, my business is not for them. Yes, ethically and morally you are correct, and you can do that, but please look into this, that there can be a big cost for that, because we don't know how big is the community of gays and lesbians, because many of them are not really telling us if for what is going on. And look at how this thing is becoming legalized in many countries. You can look into United States. There are many states where this thing is legal. So what I'm trying to say, that in international trade environment, you can have your own ethics, moral values, cultures, all of those things, but you have to be mindful of the fallout. What can happen, and what can go wrong. If you are willing to take the heat, that is fine. That is your call now. How far you can go. If you think, yes, I want to stand on one principle and that is it, but many times it is not beneficial for, especially please be mindful that we are strictly talking in the background of business management. We are not talking about religion or other, although I personally feel they are very important. If I am a business owner, I will want to be very ethical in the examples which I gave you, and I don't want to promote LGBT and those type of things. But there will be a cost of that, and this is just one example, yeah. So you have to see what is happening, and you can decide what. And later on, I'm going to show you a couple of examples on that. But anyways, coming back to the I hope we are warmed up now, so your turn now. So
Excuse me.
give me your examples. Tell me, why this can be, why culture can be very important. Specifically, if you can give some examples of from your observation or reading or something, that is really going to benefit our discussion. So please go ahead.
Just I have a question. When we raise our hands, we get a number. Shall we stick to those numbers that we get? For example, I have number 4 now.
Yes, definitely, that would be the right idea. But I don't know what is your culture, so
I don't really stick to numbers in my culture, but I prefer if we stick to numbers, so it won't be confusing for everyone.
please go ahead.
Then number 1 should go ahead. I don't know who is number 1.
Yeah, I think that's me. So I will just start and giving my comment to this topic. As you already said, like international trade is about interacting with other cultures and countries, and I mean, for sure, you don't want to be offensive towards your counterpart. So you have to really be aware of these country-specific traits and characteristics. I think very helpful in this case are like pretty well-known cultural models or theories, like from Gerd Hofstede. he analyzes countries, for example, in terms of how collectivistic or individualistic they are. And to give a specific example, in one of my other lectures, I'm currently writing a paper about gift-giving culture across different countries. And this is very interesting because, for example, different colors are having different meanings in cultures. So, for example, wrapping a gift in a red color may be very offensive in India or Japan. So you should really be aware of such things in order to be not offensive towards your business partner.
Very good, great example by Vera. Excellent example. You know, gift giving in let's stick with international trade maybe. So gift giving. So in one culture, when you give someone something that is a gift, in another culture that is a bribe. So you have to see what is what. Yeah. So this is very interesting. So going forward, please, please make your comment short. Give example. You don't have to talk about theory. So just like Vera, she spoke about gift giving culture. I would appreciate if you can just give example and move on. Once you are spoken, please lower your hand and make it fast. We have to make it very smooth.
Okay, so it's my turn, and I would like to compare culture to language because it's like speaking a language. Either you can it or you can't, because you have to really learn culture. It's every culture is our own, and for example, the Asian culture is very different to the European culture, and that's very important when you do international business, for me.
Mhm, mhm.
Regarding culture in terms of international trade, I think, as you already mentioned, it is really important because there can be a lot of misunderstandings, and I think these misunderstandings can relate to not being successful and having a failure in this country. I think there are a lot of examples out there, and also there are some legal regulations which you have to be informed about. For example, when I was in Finland, we went to the supermarket and wanted to buy some alcohol for partying, and they're only allowed to sell alcohol with less than 5%. So there are special stores where, for example, you can buy vodka and stuff like that. So if you're going as a supermarket to Finland, you should know about these things.
Yes, great point, Alex. Thanks for that. So see, Finland is close by. They are European. Germans are European. They look well. I should not say they look same, but both have fair screen, fair complexion. So, but they are sharing many things. They are sharing many things. So this can be a challenge, and sometimes and very nice the legal requirements, especially in the context of international business, because laws can be different in different countries. So if you are not abiding by the law of the land, what is going to happen is your shipment will be returned. So you have made the product, made your services, you package them, you put it on containers, you did everything, you send it out, and once it reach there, because of, and it can be something very minor, it can be something extremely minor for you. For example, when you pick up any bottle, like a bottle of carbonated water, Pepsi, Coke, or something like that, or some juice or something, please look at the labeling on it. Please do this exercise whenever you have time. So uh, pick up one particular brand or product which you like, and look into the label, and maybe take a picture, and read the fine print, see what are the things they have told you in that, in terms of health, and in terms of what is in it, and what guidelines they have mentioned, and all those things. When you get a chance to go into some other country, pick up the same brand, Same, if you picked up a Coke 250 ml in your country, when you go to some other country, pick up the same 250 ml, same brand, same style, yeah, and look at the label and very carefully compare them. You will see that there are some differences. So even for labeling, a company would have to adjust, because you might not be able to sell it in that country if your label does not mention all the requirements of the thing. So because it is business, because a lot of money is involved, because your business value is involved, so big things are at stake. So you have to be more mindful of those type of things which Alex has mentioned nicely. Yes, please go ahead, but just mention examples. I'm interested in theoretical aspect. Give me concrete, good, nice examples to drive the discussion forward. Please go ahead.
Okay, I think in the context of international trade, which is business, we need to think that we don't need, in most cases, we don't need to understand the depth of the culture. We need to understand what they are doing, not why they are doing it. For example, when you go for a business meeting or a negotiation meeting, you need to know, should you start doing business immediately, talking business, or do some small talks, which can you make jokes or not? Can you ask personal questions or not? That's quite important, I think, in terms of international.
Beautiful. Thanks a million for this comment, Ashraf. I'm really loving this. And let me add a little incident over here. So when I just graduated a couple of years ago, I accompanied one of my family members who is a businessman, and they had a negotiation in a restaurant right here in Kingston. So I just went there just to see, and he was kind enough. He said, "Yes, come on, no problem." And uh, of course, I did not have any experience over there. I was just graduating, coming out of school. So I said, okay, it is going to be, a real type of conversation, what is happening, and this and that, and all those type of things, which we study in the books, all those type of things. So as Ashraf is very nicely pointing out, I really remember, and it just came in my mind right now, that we went there, and what happened is that that guy who was there he came from some part in Asia. I don't really remember. I think it was Japan, most likely. So he came and he said, all right, what is on the menu, what are we going to have, and small talk and this and that, and all those type of things, and shaking hands and all those type of things, and touching each other, and being a little bit casual. And so I was there, and I said, this is a business meeting, what is happening? It seemed like they are just friends, and they were just so. And the person who was my relative, he just went with the flow. He said, all right, let things happen the way they are happening, no problem. And it was long meeting. We stayed there for maybe 1.5 hours or something. Like in that meeting, no one spoke anything about business, nothing at all, no mention of any business. And at the end of the day, that guy just extended his hand. They shook each other's hand, and he said, well, I'm happy to do business with you. And I said, amazing. Of course, they had done the all paperwork, and their junior level staff and all those paper, but when they meet, they did not really. It was so to me what I'm trying to say is that please make note of this, and you can disagree with this if that is not what you like. Everyone has their own style, everyone has their own personality. So what I would say is that the personal relationship, how you can have a personal relationship with someone, that can many times save you from so much hassle and anything. So likability, try to do things which people are going to maybe like, not to make them just for the sake of just to gain benefit or something. Genuinely, be genuine, have a personal type of connection, what should I say, a fair type of connection, which is coming from your real self, and it's not fake, that type of thing. So if you can have that type of relationship generally in life with people, and specifically in international trade, what happens is that things are going to go wrong. No matter how hard you prepare, there are going to be things which you did not think about, and this happened and that. These things happen. No matter how experienced you are, things are going to happen. So at that time, you need people who are supporting you. You need some people in the other group which you are dealing with, who are going to save. You're going to say, no problem, he did not mean that, she did not mean that, it's not like this. So in that, it can really help you. The likability is I think is one factor which many times we ignore it, and we say, okay, if the papers are done in the right way, if we are following all the procedures, all those things, everything should go fine. And yes, in some countries they do, because their processes, procedures are very very up to date, and they are following it and all those. But majority of the international trade, if you are going to look at it around the globe, that personal relationship, that is going to help you, provided you have good quality, you have good product, all those things are there. Once you have all those things, then you should also work on personal relationship and those type of things. So again, please stick with giving examples. Yes, Ben, please go ahead.
I just wanted to add the perspective of time in international trade and relations, because, for example, in Germany, we see time as a start and an end date, and we have deadlines that we stick to. And for example, some Asian countries, they see it more like endless and a cycle, so it can always go on, and deadlines are not that important sometimes. When we look, for example, to India, they are more like a target, and if you don't stick to the deadline, it's still fine and you can work it out afterwards. And in Europe, it's a bit different. So I think the time perspective is really important. So.
Thanks for that. Next one, please. Bianca.
Yes, so I'd like to add two things. First of all, I have an own example, and second, I have an example on what Ash said. So first of all, I also think for international trade and market, so culture influences how we make decisions and how we receive things. So we need to have different marketing concepts for different countries. So for example, I think I learned that in a lecture. The advertisements that are on TV in Europe, they're way more like showy than the ones in America. So you cannot so you cannot have the same advertisements. And then for the second thing, that's what Ash said, the way you make business deals. So actually, I think someone also mentioned that in a lecture before. There is actually a good example. It was, I think, Ford, and then an Italian car company. I think it was either Bugatti or Lamborghini or something. So basically, Ford wanted to buy this company, and the deal was basically, kind of close. So the Italian CEO, boss of that company, gave Ford his word for it, and in Italy, that means, that's basically a deal. And then for the American company Ford, you need contracts, you need everything. So basically, I think after the Italian boss gave Ford his word, a few days later, Ford came with all those contracts and everything to sign it. So the Italian boss, he was very hurt by this move. So the deal didn't work out after all. And now I think Volkswagen owns this company. So, because Ford hurt them so badly, so they didn't want to do business with them anymore.
Very interesting, Bianca, and thanks for sharing this example. And this is available on the internet. Please type in Ford, and what Bianca was mentioning is an interesting example to look into. But she explained it very nicely. If you are listening, but pay attention to what another point which Bianca mentioned, and I really liked it. She's saying that she linked it with decision making. Yeah, so she's linking culture with decision making. And think about life all the time. What are we doing? We are just making decisions. Now what are you doing? You are essentially making decisions. Either you're going to speak or you are not going to speak. If you are going to speak, what you are going to speak about, which example, all of that is the decision. Whatever I am doing is decision. How those decisions are coming, they are coming even with unconscious, like unconsciously many things are happening. Do you think that I am, the way I am talking and moving and using my hands, whatever I am doing, am I doing it subconsciously? Am I thinking about all of my movements and everything? No, many things are. So all of these are decisions. So please think about this. This is very deep point which Bianca made over, is that decision making is going to get influenced by your culture, and many times you won't even know, you won't even realize. If you sit down and reflect, of course you can sometimes find out why you did what you did, but so think about in your life, can you think about any situation where you did something, and after doing it you said, oh, why did I do that? I'm not like that. I should not have it like that. Maybe I got very angry or upset, or I should not behave like that, and then all those type of things. Or someone else, uh, they did something which you said, I can't believe why she did this, or I can't believe why he did this, or whatever. So all of this is very much linked with getting understanding of international cultures. Very important. But again, I want to remind you that don't judge negatively people on that. Our tendency is that when someone do something uh, against the will of our culture or the way we do things, we forget all the good things that thing has. So one person do one thing or two things or three things which you don't like, and you forget all the positives in that person. That is a dilemma. All of us face this. So when we are angry, upset, and we don't like what someone else did, we just say, okay, all right, it's over, whatever, go away, something like that. Many times in different cultures people do that. But maybe the right thing is that, this person did this is wrong, yes, maybe, but this is wrong for me, maybe it is not wrong for that person. And let me remind myself how many things which I appreciate about that person. Yeah, same thing is for hiring and all those type of aspects, in especially in international human resource management, which we are going to talk later on. But I want to move on to next discussion point. And only keep your hand raised if you are willing to participate in this question. Yeah, so the next one would be that give examples where in life, work, in school, in your own, whatever, just trying to understand culture. Give examples of something that you wanted to do something, and you are passionate about that, but the culture did not allow you to do that. Yeah, so you wanted to do something, yeah, but the culture, or somehow the other party, they did not feel it, and you said, oh, why this. So think about this type of example. We are only focusing on example, we are not trying to look into explanation of the things. Yeah, so the question is that try to think about some situations, some things you went, that you wanted to do something, and you are ready, you are passionate, everything is there, but the culture somehow discouraged you. And what, take us through that type of example. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, so normally I wanted to say that also in the way of marketing and advertising, you have to have the culture in mind. But now, due to your next topic, for example, I was in Thailand, I think 4 years ago, and it was the year 2016 when the king of Thailand died, and then we, of course, we were like normal tourists and wanted to see Bangkok and how the life is in the evening there. But due to the death of the king, it was like the palace where the king lived were open for us. So due to that, we had like, and it was in the culture of Thailand, I think that they now have like 1 year where they stick to this like order due to the death of the king. And so we also had to make compromises, of course, but it was no problem, but it just made our plans a little bit different.
Yes, yes. This is a great, lovely example, beautiful example. Olivia has linked our conversation on culture with another fascinating topic under international trade, which is political economy. Please make note of this point, which Olivia has made. Political economy, it is linked with that. So the politics of the country, how that influences various aspects of international trade. So she's talking about a country where there is the dynasty, king and queens, and that type of thing. Compare it with a democratic country. If the prime minister or president dies, they might deal with the things differently. But if it's a king or it's a prince or something like that, things change over there. So this is very interesting point to, especially to reflect in the context that when you are doing international trade, you might want to think about that the country you are going into, what type of politics is there? Is there a king, queen, prince, or is it a military? Is it military leadership? Is it a dictator? Is it a democracy? What type of, so it will come into our discussion on political economy, political leadership, the link with that, but very important point. Thanks for that. Yes, continue with examples. Go ahead.
So my example is also when I was in Thailand, like Olivia, and we wanted to go to the temples. You have to cover like your shoulders and your knees, and it was like super hot, so we were not used to it, but I think it's like a sign of respect to their goddess. And yes, it was also strange at the beginning because it was so hot and you just have your hot pants and everything, and in Germany it's super normal, but of course there you have to respect their traditions.
Interesting point. So but reflect on this. I want to put one point here. So just like a girl in a Western society who is used to a particular type of dressing, as Anna is explaining us, for her, when she looked at a girl from let's say, Saudi Arabia, a traditional Muslim country, not all of them, but there are some places where they follow the thing. So over there she's going to see a girl which is fully covered, like, yeah, most of the body parts are covered, and that type of environment. So for a girl who is not used to that, she might think that, oh, she's oppressed, she does not have her rights and those type of things, and that type of thinking can go on. Not for all of them, I'm just posing one point of view, and there are of course different points of view. But what I'm trying to say is, in the same way, that girl which is fully covered, for her it can be equally not pleasing to someone dressing in that type of Western clothing. So this can be a clash. So think about in the international trade context, think about what type of clothing you are going to sell in different type of countries. You have to be mindful of that, what type of material it will be made up of, how visible, how see-through that material would be. And you can do the search. Many times business they know these things, but because the reason why businesses make a lot of mistakes, these international businesses, because there are so many things to look into when you are talking about international trade, and you must have realized it from yesterday's discussion and today's discussion so far. So, and it is very hard to perfect all the things. So many times they just go into it and then they have to face some type of consequences. Yeah, next one, give some examples. So the question again is that give some personal examples, some type of thing which you wanted to do, but the culture hindered you. Culture did not allow you to do that. Go ahead, please.
So I would like to add the example. When I've been to Taiwan, we had to prepare a project or presentation at the university with different kind of international students, as well as Asian students. And in our culture, teamwork is much appreciated and preferred. So we exchanged information during the whole time of project preparation, whereas they wanted to strict the task as separate the task strictly. So it was kind of difficult to deal with that because there was a little bit a lack of communication, and yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Interesting. The next one, please go ahead with the example.
My example is about the time when I did my semester abroad in South Korea. I wanted to go to the sauna with a friend from a student club, and he was a male. And you probably know that in Germany, you can go to the sauna male and female to the same places, and everyone is naked and it doesn't matter. But in Korea, I found out that it's different. You can't actually be in the same place naked at the same time. So it's strictly separated between female and male. And there's only like a common area where you have to wear clothing, and there you can meet with people from the other sex. So yeah, that was very surprising for me in the beginning. I didn't know that.
Very interesting point of view, Nadine. Let me ask you a follow-up question. So you said that male and female, they can go together and it is okay, it is perfectly fine. So if in that case people touch each other, or what happens there? Like if they touch each other or something happened, people are okay with that, or they are like, what is happening here? So is there any space which you need to watch, just like our friend gave example of power distance, so it can be physical distance. So what is going on over there? Please go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. It's not common to be seen that people are close to each other. Like it also applies to not just in the sauna, but in public in general. Because Korea is still pretty conservative. So it's yeah, you can see people holding hands, but that would be the top. Like it's not common to see male and female hugging or kissing and stuff.
Thanks for the point. And this is please make note of this thing, this line which Nadine used. She said that even outside of that, generally in life, people are not, they don't go, they keep a little bit of physical distance. So these things can, although you might say that how this is linked with international trade and so many things, but things are so much linked. Life is interdiscipline. So even if you want, let me link it with something like, for example, coronavirus, COVID-19. It has disrupted international trade throughout the world. But there are some countries where the government is not very strict about keeping the policies and procedures to keep safe from COVID-19. For example, it is one of those countries on the top, Sweden, Norway, or something like that on the top. You can do the search. I was reading that one of those countries, they are not really strict, and they are telling people, well, you decide if you are keeping the precautions, that is fine. If you are not, you decide. We trust you, that type of thing. And one of the reasons for that, if you would look into that matter, you will find that generally in life, even before COVID-19, people in that particular country, they don't go very close to each other. They do go close, but they still kind of keep a little bit of a distance. On some other countries, you when you see someone, you have to hug them, you have to even kiss them or something like that. On the other one, there is a little bit of that type of thing. So what is right and what is wrong? And nothing is right, nothing is wrong. In the context of international trade, in the context of religion, of course, things are right, things are wrong. In the context of your own ethical, moral principles, of course, some things are right, something is wrong. So I'm just focusing on international trade. That in international trade, these things, they don't look into this. And the reason, I can share the reason with you why I'm saying that this. The fundamental reason is that the first responsibility of the business is to make money. That is the first responsibility of the business. Now you guys can say, no, you should do good, you should do corporate social responsibility, you should give good pricing to the people. All of that is good. And when you are starting your own business or international trade, whatever, you can do all those type of things. But at the end of the day, if a business do not make money, if it is not profitable, then it is going to go out of business, won't be able to do anything. Forget about CSR and those type of initiatives. So yes, there are different point of views on this. Some people say that yes, these other things are equally important, but there is very strong stance of scholars that they say that the first fundamental thing is that you have to make money. That is and then sometimes people don't like it in the discussions. They say, don't say that. But let me give you one example for that. When you are in the aeroplane and something happens, some disaster is going to happen and something, those masks come down and all those things, you have to start looking into those things. So if you are a mother and you have a child, a small baby, which you are holding, the instructions are that first thing you are going to do, first thing is you are going to put mask on yourself. You're going to secure yourself, no matter what is going on with the baby. That's the first thing you are going to do. Some people will follow that, some people will not follow that. That is another thing. But if you look at the action menu, they say that first thing you are going to secure yourself, because they are saying if you are secure, then you can maybe help baby and maybe help other people also. You can do many things. But if something happens to you and by impulse you start saving your baby first and then you are late or something can go wrong in that. So same way, they are saying that first responsibility of business is to get strong, profitable, all those type of things, build the ranking, and after that, of course, a business should do all those things, look into community, give people job in the community, look out for new graduates coming out of university, give them training, give them all those type of things which many countries do. So think about that. Yes, I'm going to take one more. Yes, Teresa, please go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I wanted to add another point. So I think for like interacting in cultures or in different cultures, it is important to concentrate on things everyone has in common and not to concentrate on things that are different for people. So for example, when I was in the US, there were quite a lot of things that were different from our cultures, but then I found out that both cultures, the German and US culture, are pretty open-minded and they value teamwork highly. And as soon as I started concentrating on that, my culture shock was reduced and I started to integrate way faster and better.
Beautiful. And Teresa has just given us a technique, which can be useful in those type of situation. Yes, let me take one more. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I also wanted to spend a semester abroad last year in Taiwan, and I noticed that people are just not as direct as people here in Germany. and that they desire to maintain harmony and well-being of the group that is just much more than any individual choices. And for example, in university, when working in groups, I sometimes had the feeling to really offend people when I point out any mistakes or making remarks.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn to be more careful with what to say in general.
Yeah. This is very interesting and very profound remark. Need to reflect on this a little bit. Please do that. You know, there are going to be things which you are not going to like in international trade, how different people from different cultures are going to do. You are not going to like it. So how you are going to deal with that, that is very extremely tricky business, extremely tricky. Because you can say, oh, I will say it nicely and I will smile and I will, even if I'm writing an email, I will add nice words and very nicely I will say. And but you are in some way you are going against the other person's culture. And what is culture? Culture is what is right and what is wrong. So in some way you are telling the other person or other business that what you are doing is wrong, and you can be right about that. You can be absolutely right and the other person can be wrong. But you have to be very tactful in this, because once the relationship goes bad, it is possible to gain back the trust and build back the relationship. It is possible, but I know that it can be very difficult. It is good that you have a continued good relationship on a certain frequency. Yes, a little bit down, a little bit up, that is fine. But a disaster type of blunder, you shame someone or you really try to do your own type of thing in the international culture, just like our friends are giving examples of South Korea, Thailand, US, and so on and so forth. If you start pushing yourself too much, that can be a tricky problem. And then many times, it is my experience and observation, many times, and you can have your own opinion on this again, many times it is maybe wise to go with the flow. Let things happen. If it is not too big of a thing, for it's not a matter of life and death, and is not a very big issue for you, you let it go and you just you accommodate. Don't try to press too much. Although even if you love that, and that example, that video example, so make comments, turn on video, and that was something which I am passionate about. But no problem, this is small thing. What is the objective? Just like yesterday, one friend mentioned the importance of purpose, the importance of objective, the importance of the end goal. What are you trying to achieve? What am I trying to achieve? I am trying to just make you participate. I want you to speak. I want you to share your ideas, build on that. That is the main object. Other things, if they happen, very good. If they don't, so if in doing that I do something in which you are discouraged from even using your audio, or you are like you say what is this, and our community, how long is our communication? 1 week. It is not, we are not like married and we are not going to stay for rest of our life. No, nothing like that. Yeah, so in that to adjust. So same way in international trade, you might go in with deep conviction and all those type of things, but I would say, don't, if you can adjust. If you can, if it is very important for you, yes, please, then go ahead. One point I want to, it's coming again and again in my mind. One of the friends, when she mentioned gift giving, she also mentioned color. Yes, color of the, so think about color of the product. So it might be the case where you love red color. You say red color is my color. Yeah, this is the color. I love red color. And then the product you are selling, you put it all red. And then you launch in a country where if a eating product is in a red wrapper, people are not going to buy it. what are you going to do with that? It can be think about all the work you have done, all the preparation of going into being launching your product, all those type of things, and then people are not going. Why? Just because in that culture they do not like to buy eating products which they are going to eat, which are in red color. You can do the search. There are there are so many cultures, different ways of doing things. So think about that. Let me take Vanessa also, because yes, Vanessa, please go ahead.
All right, so I don't really have a precise example right now, but I guess everyone was in a situation abroad where misunderstandings were happening. So it's always a strange feeling of being not really understood. And that's a point where I think effective communication is really important for international businesses, as there's like always a risk of that your messages are getting lost in translation or are wrongly interpreted. And especially with a view in business, like misunderstandings can really lead to chaos and unnecessary costs. So that's the point I want to mention.
Very, very good. Excellent use of lost in translation and all those. Being a simple word, misunderstood. You did not mean it. Think in your own life, you think think of a situation where you wanted all good for the other person, but somehow misunderstanding happened, and the person said you are not nice or whatever. But in your heart, you know that you did not mean anything like that. And so this can be big challenge, because think about it, how much time it takes to know someone really. How much time? Yeah, think about it. Yeah, think about
a long
think
time.
About yeah, long time. Yeah, it takes long time. And even after long time, do you really understand the other person? Do you what happened? Like, have not you seen like 20 years of marriage, 15 years of marriage, divorce? What is that? And they were in love affair and all these things happen. We see it across the globe. Why is that? Why after 20 years of marriage living together, people say that, oh, I really don't know what he's about. This guy is so weird. I don't know what is going on, and vice versa. Yes, how much time? So in international trade, how you are going to really understand what is in the heart and mind of people? It can be really tricky. So I want to remind you on this again, of the pointer which I made, and you can reflect on this in your own time, that when misunderstanding happens, when you are lost in translation, when those type of things happen with you, and I'm sure all of you can relate with that, how you are able to make the other person understand. You are able to make the other person understand if they really genuinely really like you. They really feel that yes, you have the best intention in your heart for them. If you are not able to do that, then people are going to so if, for example, I'm communicating with you, you don't know me, I don't know you, and by the end of the week you can't know me and I can't know you. That is not possible. Yes. So but in this, if somehow you can get this feeling that this person has my best interest, something like that. Same way, when I'm communicating with you guys and you say something to me, I also have that same feeling that this person, they have my best interest. Yeah. So then it can be easier, because please remember that all this good talk about doing things for others and all those type of things, yes, they are good and important, and we read them all the time in our textbooks also. But essentially speaking, if you study psychology and human behavior a little deep, you will find it's very likely that you will reach to the conclusion that essentially, generally speaking, human beings are selfish. Now, selfish is a wrong. We use it in a wrong way, but if you think about it, it is not that wrong of a word. Selfish means that what is in my interest. So if I am doing something, I will be more interested in doing that if 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 it is interesting to me. Yeah. Why so many people have raised their hands? Look in the scroll bar. There are so many people who have raised their hands. Why do you think they have raised their hand? Is it the case that they genuinely want to participate in this discussion and get the hang of what we are trying to do, go deep into? Is that the case, or is it the case that there is a participation score? You can look, you can ask yourself. You don't, no one can know and no one wants to know. You can ask yourself that my hand is raised, why it is raised. Do I really want to? What I'm doing, even when you are sitting in this class right now, do you really want to, or you have to? Yeah. So self-interest, it's there. So in international trade, I'm linking it with international marketing, because culture is something which is going to go in so many different areas. So it is good to talk about a little bit about these things before we reach those topics. But when you are marketing a product, you are not talking about the product. The product is not talking about themselves. Try to recall of some of the taglines of companies. Yeah. So for example, Red Bull. What is the tagline of Red Bull? It makes you fly. You are the target. So Red Bull is not saying that, oh, we are something. No, Red Bull gives you wings. It's about you. Think about any company. Nike. What is there? Do it. Do it for whom? For you. That once you wear it, you can do it. Yeah. So think about these things. So selfishness and those types. So don't take a selfish as a negative word. Try to explore it. Uh, yes. Give one more example, a final one, and give it if it is really going to add value to the discussion. If you think it is covered, forget about it. Just try to add some value, some new point, if you can. Yes, please go ahead. Yes, Ren.
Okay, so my example was I'm an exchange student, and before I came to Germany, and when I was dining with my friends, and when I was eating, I always eat really quickly or making the table a little mess. And my friend saw that and he told me you can't do that when you are in Germany because the table manner is really important in Germany. So yeah, so I had to change my behavior when I'm dining. And also I was a sensitive person before, but after getting along with my foreign friends, I accepted their opinions on me. So I'm actually happy when they are telling me what I did wrong, so I can improve myself. So I think that's my example.
Thanks a million for this type of commentary. This really takes a lot to share these type of this type of comments in our session. And I'm really grateful for sharing your own personal experience, because we all make these type of blunders and those type of things. And the idea is that no problem if we make those type of messy table or whatever. We all do this in one time or another. So but the idea is that you looked into this, you improved yourself. This is a great point of self-reflection. Great point. Wonderful, lovely. Thanks a million for that. Yes, next one.
So yeah, I have an example in Japan, when there is a person or a business partner who is introduced by your friends, and after that, whenever you want to meet with that person, you have to inform your friends in advance, because well, it is very unpolite that you just directly make appointment with that person without informing your friends. And so this is the culture of interaction between people in Japan. And well, I think this relationship is not very common in Europe or like Western world.
Oh yes, yeah, see, very good examples. Yes, I would totally agree that these can be especially these Asian students who come to European, and not that they don't adjust. I've seen them that they adjust fine. It's just you have to look at what are the norms there and you adjust. But then of course, it can be a big challenge. Very good point. Very good point. Thanks for that. Okay, as you are looking on the screen today, we are starting with the culture in business. I think we had a decent discussion on this based on the pointers you have made. Please find time to go on the website, and look into these things. There are some postings. You are going to do that in your own time, of course. Very thoughtful points these are here they are made. Why culture is important. Don't feel that we have discussed it in a lot of different angles, and that is sufficient. No, we don't have time to really go into deep in culture and these type of topics. So look into these type of clips which I have posted for you. So for example, this one, creating a culture of innovation. Link it with the discussion about new idea creation. We were talking about it. We were talking about globalization. So how you are going to adjust, how you are going to treat failure, how you are going to make yourself stand on your feet again. All of these things are in one way or another linked with culture. So how a business is going to go up and up and up and up by new ideas, by doing new things. We gave some examples yesterday, so I don't want to repeat ourselves. So new idea, how new ideas come, new thinking, creativity, innovation, new idea development, research and development, those types. So how innovation is going to come? Can innovation come in a culture which is very unforgiving to mistakes, even genuine mistakes? Is it possible? Think about it, reflect. Yeah. So because you want to innovate, you are going to try new things. Some things will work, many things will not work, because you are trying, you are experimenting. So how different companies look into that? I think that is something you should really think about. That. Just run a Google search on companies that reward failure. Just run Google search, just like that. Look into that. Yeah. P&G, you must be aware of the company. It is billion-dollar company, Procter and Gamble. You go in any type of grocery store market around the world, products don't say in a big way P&G. They don't say that, but there are so many products which Procter and Gamble make. You should go on their website and look into what products they want to make. I don't want to spend my time on that, but anyways, look into this. P&G has their heroic failure award. Have you ever received a reward when you failed in life? You have to think about this. Please lower your hand now. Have you ever received any type of reward ever? You have to think about that. Yeah. When you fail, when things you do and they don't work out the way you want, and you fail, Anyone has praised you? Anyone has said, okay, well, you tried out those type of things? Yeah. But think about this. P&G is giving awards. They are recognizing. Yeah. So there are so many companies you can look into this. Like for example, why Google rewards its employees for failing? You know, Google rewards their employees when they fail. Yeah. What is going on over there? Yes. Yeah. So think about these things. But again, yes, you have to be mindful that in which way they failed. Yeah, they failed after doing all the work, all the background work, all the things they could do, whatever was humanly possible. They did all those things, they prepared, and but at the end, if something happened which was not in their control or something, if it was a genuine mistake, then yes, some companies reward failures. Think about that. Yeah. So if you want your company to international business to come up with come up with innovation, new idea development, you have to have this culture where you tolerate some type of mistake. You understand people are different. You give them some room and those type of things. But again, this is very personal, depending on what type of business it is and how they want to proceed. So you would have to think about that. This one, very interesting clip. Please watch it in your own time. How purpose can drive innovation. What is your purpose, objective, and those type of things. Yeah, body language is these clips you are going to stereotypes. I want to talk a little bit about stereotype. Okay, so this is the question now. Stereotype. Give some example of stereotyping. But let's make it a little bit different. So I look like Indian. I sound like Indian because I'm Indian. So I would look and sound like that. My accent and all those type of things. Yes. So what is your have you ever stereotyped Indians, people who come from India or Pakistan? I come from Pakistan, but they are treated like they are same. They look same, and generally speaking, there's always more than 1 billion people in the world who look like that. So, have you ever stereotyped an Indian? What is your define stereotyping of an Indian? How do you view a person with my accent? What comes to your mind? Like, are they selfish? Are they greedy? Are they intelligent? Are they good looking? Are they what? Are they foolish? What is stereotype? Please give examples. Explain if have you stereotype. If you do not stereotype, or if you think you don't stereotype, then you don't have to speak. But I just need to know that how do you stereotype Indians? Please go ahead.
Well, actually, for Indian, I don't really have like a stereotype. I was actually thinking else like about German people. So I think like the most common stereotypes for Germans are that they are really functional, that they are really business related. So like when it comes to a business date, that they want to go to the topic immediately and they don't want to have any chit chat and something like this. So I think like Germans, the stereotype for Germans is that they are really focused and concentrated. And I don't really know how it is for Indian people, but
okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just wanted some. You can talk about any nation, whatever you know of. So Germans, they are like that. But go ahead. Next one. Yes, let's have a couple of examples
Yeah,
of any
maybe.
nationality.
So maybe the stereotype for Indian people is that they are good in math and like computer science. Maybe because many people work in that field from India, and school is really like teaching people to go into that field and stuff like that. So maybe the overall assumption of people is that every Indian is like good in math or like computer science.
Yes, go ahead. So you can talk about any country, whichever you are familiar with. If it is German, if it is Saudis, if it is Japanese, and just give stereotype like what is your own stereotype about them? Yes, please go ahead.
also wanted to add that you sound like an IT expert because, like Ike mentioned, the Indians are like all good with computers. And when I think about Indians, I also think about like their apartment is smelling like Indian food. And I lived with two Indian guys together, and it's actually true because like it's so strong, like the Indian spices, that the like apartment is smelling like Indian food, like curry.
Please keep it going fast. Bianca, Ben, Carla, you guys can go ahead if the first person is not.
Okay, I can talk. I can say people have this stereotype about China products. They used to say China products is fake and German product is more better than German product, or Japanese product are more better than Chinese product. So this is just like a stereotype. Although some China products uh, are not doesn't meet the standard, but not all Chinese products are like that. And secondly, another stereotype I also noticed, yeah, especially in Europe, yeah, they used to see most foreigners as, especially Africans, as refugees, and they should all consider them as refugees. But some of them who came here as expats or maybe as a student, they are all categorized as refugee, and they treat them as refugee mostly, but not all Germans or all Europeans are treating people like that. So that's just stereotype that I can say.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Okay, as I am basically the next in line, I'm gonna go ahead too. So, I haven't really met an Indian so far, but there's a show, it's called The Big Bang Theory, and there's an actor, and he's an Indian, and just the way that he's represented there is like he's like very calm, quiet. He's trying to keep the peace. He's like a really, really nice person and everything. And so I think of Indians as like, you know, nice persons that always try to see the good in people and so on. So it's quite surprising, or not really surprising, but the media just influences us so much, I think, when it comes to stereotypes. Like just, you know, the way or like what information we get on that person. I feel like we're like very how do you say that in English? You know, if we get information just like that, we don't automatically look for other information too about those kind of people. So that's kind of how stereotypes builds. But it's pretty funny how the slightest things can influence how we think about a certain group of people.
Beautiful. Exceptional point here. So I'm sure all of us can relate with this now. So this is talking about media, you know, things we listen in the media, that this community is like this community is like this. People coming from this country are like this. People coming from Palestine are like this. People who are coming from Afghanistan, they are Taliban are like this. And Americans are like this. All this media, so what we are consuming, that is influencing our. So for example, if you run a Google search that is it safe to come to Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. So I am here, you guys know that. So if you have not been here and you just run a Google search, you search for crime in Jamaica. What is the crime rate in Jamaica? You search for how many people are murdered every year in Jamaica. You might see very high numbers. You will see some high numbers, but that is may be true in any country. If you look at the media reports in the US, you will see that there is high number of unemployment. And I'm not talking about these times when we are going through COVID-19. Even before that, high numbers of, but what is the perception? Perception is that, that is the dreamland. The perception is that everyone is, majority of the people are rich there, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so media is, as our friend is mentioning that, so we have to be very mindful, especially in the context of international trade, because when we are going to launch our business to some international some other place, we can't just rely on the media reports and what we are going to read and see on the newspapers and whatever. Yeah, so we can't totally depend on that. I'm not saying that everything is wrong, but you guys know that, they sometimes they just make up stories and exaggerate and stuff like that. So that is why, for research purposes, when you are launching some product, or even if you get a job in an international market, international trade, you have to go to the next country. They say, and it is in the readings also, you can look it up, that it is good to go there, visit there, stay there for a couple of days as long as possible, hang out with the local people, try to get a first hand experience of yourself, of course, in a environment where you feel safe. So you don't want to go out alone and just then anything can happen, that, and in the late nights or stuff like that. So you have to be cautious about that thing, but that is true in any country. There is no country which is 100% safe. But what I'm trying to say, that visiting yourself, all those type of things becomes very important, especially in the context, as our friend mentioned, that these media reports that can be very challenging. Good pointers on stereotyping. So so what the reason for bringing stereotyping in culture is that, generally speaking, just like when I use the word selfish, it is, so if someone says, oh, you are very selfish, so you won't be feeling happy, you will feel bad. Same way, if someone say, oh, this Bianca she stereotypes people and this and that, and so Bianca might say, oh, well, I don't stereotype it, like it is a negative word. But what I'm trying to say is that in international trade, you need to use these terms like selfishness and stereotyping to your advantage. So what I mean is that we all stereotype. We confess to it or we don't confess to it. It happens automatically in our brain. We just hear a voice. We look someone from a distance. We have not even spoken with them, and you say, yes, I like that person. I would like to date with that person. Why? Why is that? You are stereotyping right there. Yeah. So in international, what I'm trying to say is that use stereotyping to your advantage. Yeah. So for example, if people think that Germans are don't like small chat and those type of things, although my experience is totally different. I have a personal friend I told you about yesterday. He's totally from German. His first international appointment was in Germany. He has not been to too many countries. Yes, for some time, but he stayed here for a long time. Majority of the time spent in Germany, and we used to chat and chat and chat. It is chatting is that if you get along with someone, you are going to chat. Yes, generally speaking, it can be a, people can think that they don't chat. So think about situations in international trade where you can use this in your advantage. So in the type of meetings where you want to give the impression to the other party that we mean business, we don't enjoy small talk, we are here to do the thing and move out, then maybe you want to use a German instead of maybe some other ethnicity or some other people coming from other stereotypes who just like to talk and those type of things. Yeah. So what you are doing, you are using that stereotyping to your advantage. So so for example, there are so many jokes, and I don't believe in that at all. But I'm just bringing it that blondes, because European, lot of people are blonde. So blondes, they would say that blondes are foolish or something like that. There are so many. but I don't believe that. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, can you use this to your advantage in international trade? Think about this. This is a very interesting discussion point, but I don't want to discuss it in the class. But what I can say is that look at the front desk of various business places. Businesses who are mindful, they would put someone very attractive, good looking, with good accent, nicely dressed in the front desk. Are they really nice people? Maybe they are, maybe they are not. But the companies are playing with the stereotyping. So if you will go to some hotels, nice hotels, in their lobbies and the front desk, the girls and the guys who are on the front desk, they are very good looking and smart and that nicely dressed and everything. Yeah. Why they are doing that? They are playing with the perception of the customer consumer. Think about those things. It can give you some thoughts, but again, you know, these are just some ideas, some thoughts. You take what you take. You don't like something, you discard it and you build your own understanding of culture in the context of international business. Understanding your audience, this is one of the clips. Understanding your audience. I think in yesterday's session and in today's session, we have put many things which kind of look into that. So please do that. Uh, I would like to talk about ethics, corporate social responsibility, and sustainability. I think these are the things which came into yesterday, your pointers, your examples, and if you look carefully for today's discussion also, these things come: ethics, corporate social responsibility, sustainability. I really stressed on sustainability, particularly environmental sustainability in yesterday's session. Think about ethics. I want to pose a question and you are going to reflect it in your own time. Ethics, being ethical, is it something which you can teach someone once they are grown up? Like, all of us are grown up now. We have kind of made up our minds about what is good and what is bad. We might be flexible and change and adapt. And for example, Ren or Ryan, he gave example of how he adjusted and so on. Very interesting example. But generally speaking, people have made up their mind, their ethical values, and so on as they were growing up. So think about that. That can we really teach ethics to business undergraduate students? If we really can teach them ethics, what are some of the best ways to teach them? You must have done some module, or you will do some module uh, in ethics where you will talk about it. But think about it, those type of things, whatever you do they really change your ethics, or is it something which cannot be changed? And ethics is something which companies across the globe, they are having challenges on this, big companies. So please run Google searches with these terminologies which I have, and then you can expand your search. So for example, run searches on Google and YouTube. Nike ethics, you will see that what blunders they are making in, or they have made in the past in ethics. One of the friends mentioned these child labor and those type of things in yesterday's session. You can, in globalization, you can think about that. Amazon, big company, again, think about that. Ethical values of Amazon. Just do some research, spend half an hour, and then you will know what is going on. This talk by HBR IdeaCast, exceptional talk. You must listen to this. And corporate social responsibility, you are seeing, look around, look at the companies which you like, go on their website. Majority of the companies nowadays, they do keep a little tab of CSR, corporate social responsibility, on their website. They want to show the world that yes, they are doing something good for the community and so on. You can have your own opinion on that. Are those companies doing CSR, good for the society, and all those sustainability, environmental sustainability? Are they really doing it because they want to do it? They care for the environment, the other people, the poor, the underprivileged. Is it that case, or they are bind by law? There are some regulations which they are trying to keep, and so on. So these are some things which you are going to reflect on your own. That is it for today. Thank you very much.